Hey guys, today's video is going to be on this purple smoky eye. I wanted to do something really fall-like and fall-appropriate, and purple is always my go-to shade when it comes to that. I really like how this turned out. I want to say a huge thank you to my pal, JamBeauty89, Jessica. Thank you so much for the shout-outs that you gave me. You have sent amazing people my way. You guys have been so nice and leaving me amazing comments, and it truly has touched my heart. So thank you so much for all of that. I welcome you, and if you're new, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Now if you want to see how to get this purple smoky eye, then just keep watching. This is how I start my makeup most of the time, especially if I'm doing something a little bit more, if I'm working with darker eyeshadows, if I'm doing a smoky eye, or even if I'm doing a wing liner, just in case I need to clean anything up. So I start by filling in my brows, and I used my Benefit Cosmetics Precisely My Brow, and I'm in the shade 6. After that, I went under and carved out the shape of my brows with my eyebrow, also by Benefit Cosmetics. And I kind of just like blend this downward with a flat, precise brush. This is from Anastasia. This is the number 20. And then I prime my eyelids using the Benefit Stay Don't Stray. I have been really loving this. Mine is in a shade light medium. And then I set everything with the Mercier translucent powder, and you can even use an eyeshadow, whatever you prefer. So those are the steps that I took before I started filming, and obviously I got started on this eye already. But I just do this to like speed things up a little bit so we can get right onto the fun stuff. As my transition shade, I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills Fawn. I'm picking this up on a Sigma E40, and I'm just gonna start to slowly build up my crease. I like to deposit the most amount of product on my outer corner and then just go back and forth a few times. And then I do swirly motions all the way into my inner corner. Now I'm picking up the shade Matte Moskowitz, and this is from the Meet Matrimony, the Balm Cosmetics. They're all matte eyeshadow palette. This is a very deep, like kind of like an eggplant purple kind of shade. So I'm picking this up on a MAC 217, and I'm going to start to slowly building up this color on my outer corner and very softly bringing this in towards my inner corner. After I build up that purple shadow to the intensity that I like, I will go back with that E40 blending brush and just kind of run that through my crease and blend it all together to get rid of all the harsh lines. The start of the show has to be this eyeshadow, and I'm using Telepathy from ColourPop. I'm picking this up on a flat shader brush, and I'm going to slowly build this up from my inner corner all the way to my outer corner, but I am keeping this very low, below my crease. I'm not going to go above this because I don't want it to transfer or make a mess or anything. I'm going to keep this very tight and very low below my crease. I'm going to pick up a pencil brush, and I'm going to run this on my crease just to get rid of the harsh lines, but I don't want to move any of the shadows around. So I'm doing very slow and soft movements. For my liner, I'm going to be using my Maybelline Blackest Black Gel Liner, and this is one of my favorite gel liners of all time. And I'm using a Sephora angled brush. I'm just going to do a very thin line from inner to outer corner, and then I'm also going to tight line my upper lash line using the same gel liner. And as always, I like to curl my lashes and apply a very little coat of mascara before I go in with my false lashes. You certainly don't have to apply false lashes. I just like to, just because it gives a little glamour to the look. But you can certainly just do a few coats of mascara and absolutely call it a day. All I did in between was take a little makeup wipe and wipe that fallout, and also sharpened up my outer corners. Now moving on to the face, I'm going to be trying out a few new things, new to me. Which I'm really excited about because I have really high hopes for these products. They were highly recommended to me, so I'm going to start off by applying this new e.l.f. primer, and this is their 3-in-1 I hate that they don't have the names on the products. They have it on the box, but who keeps the box anyway? But this is a new primer that they have, and this is in clear. So I tested out when I was at the store, when I went to New York City with them, and it felt really nice. So I had to take one home. So I'm going to take this much. It's probably too much. This reminds me of the Mario Badescu Rose Water. It has the same kind of smell. I really like that. It's not overpowering. Feels very silky but hydrating at the same time, which is perfect for this time of the year. For foundation, I'm also going to be trying a new e.l.f. product. And this is their Flawless Foundation. This is oil-free, SPF 15, which is also nice. And mine's in the shade Sand. I'm going to be applying this with my Sigma 3D HD Kabuki brush. The coverage is perfection. I had a few blemishes here, and I went over with a second layer, and it covered perfectly. It doesn't look cakey. I can still like see my skin, but it's pretty much full coverage, and I am loving this. I started to apply on this side, and I was like, no, wait. I want to try with a damp beauty blender just to see if it gives me a little bit of a different finish, if I like it better with a brush or a beauty blender. So I'm gonna give it a try. I don't think that you guys will be able to see the difference on camera, but in real life, I can honestly say I prefer the beauty blender when applying this foundation, just because it gives me like a smoother finish. And it's very like more natural and like luminous, but you know, that's just me. e.l.f., you guys rocked this. Honestly, I want in every single shade because I want to use it on other people. This is amazing. Continuing on the e.l.f. train, I'm gonna try their concealer, and I believe this is their HD concealer, and I was told this is pretty full coverage, so I'm very excited to try this. And mine is in the shade Fair. I'm really happy with the way this looks. I'm gonna go in with a tiny little bit more just right here because my dark circles are pretty bad today. This looks awesome. You go, e.l.f. I am blown away by these e.l.f. products. I am so happy with the way this looks right now. As you can see, I haven't set my under eyes yet, and it's not crazy like creasing on me. This is amazing. I'm gonna do a little bit of highlighting. Just gonna go over here on my forehead and on the bridge of my nose and my chin and my cupid's bow. So I'm going to set my face and my under eyes using my Mercier translucent powder. So the way I like to set my under eyes is I use the same damp beauty blender that I use for my face, and I just dunk it on my powder, and then I look up and I press this on my under eyes. And it gives you a really, really flawless finish this way. Because I'm loving the finish of this foundation, I'm just going to use a brush and the same powder and just lightly dust this all over my face. So for a little bit of contour today, I'm using my Benefit Cosmetics Hoola bronzer. And I have really been enjoying using the little brush that comes with because it gives me like a precise contour, but still very soft, and it's really easy to work with. I like to place the product where I want it to go on my contour, and then I just kind of brush it upwards and blend the contour. And I really like how it comes out because I don't have any cleanup to do, or you know, it just kind of like gives me a very precise application, but it's very soft and very pretty. For highlighting today, I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Ultimate Glow Kit. And for today, I think I'm going to stick with White Sands, which is this one right here. I have to say, I do enjoy these highlighters. And I've used Snow and White Sand. But do you see how kind of messy it gets? It's definitely not the same formula as the other glow kits. I think I prefer those a little bit more. They are just a little more grainy per se. You can see they have a lot more of, you know, like kickback when you dip your brush into them. But I do enjoy them anyway. I'm not going to highlight the tip of my nose. I'm just going to highlight the bridge of my nose. Off camera, all I did was run a little bit of Gimme Brow on my brows just to keep them in place. And now we can move on and finish the lower lash line. I'm going to start by applying the same transition shade, which is Anastasia Beverly Hills Fawn, just on a pencil brush. And I'm going to apply that all over my lower lash line. On the same pencil brush, I'm going to apply the matte Moskowitz, the same purple that I applied on my upper lid. And I'm going to apply that on my lower lash line, but focusing more on towards the outer corner. I always like to connect my outer corner just so the shadow looks better and it's just very seamless. Using the same gel liner, I'm going to tight line my lower lash line. I'm going to pick up any matte black shadow and a flat brush, and I'm going to really set that liner on the very root of my lashes, just to make sure nothing moves throughout the day. I'm going to go into my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit, and this is the Sweets Glow Kit. I'm going to pick up Sassy Grape, and I'm going to highlight my inner corners with that. So after that, all I did was apply some mascara on my lower lash line, and now we can move on to lips. And originally, I was going to go with ColourPop Hutch, and I am just having a hard time picking. I have these 3 lippies here, and I honestly think all of them will look amazing with this look. But now I'm leaning towards Anastasia Beverly Hills Trust Issues. So I think I'm going to go with that. Alright guys, so that's it for this tutorial. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I wanted to do something really vampy and like fall appropriate, and I really like how this turned out. I am very impressed about these e.l.f. products that I tried on today, so I'll keep you guys posted. But so far, I loved everything I tried. And yeah, so as always, if you like this video, if you found it helpful, and if you learned something new, please give me a thumbs up because it helps my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!